in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Forestry Department. They assisted us in planting. It was something that the RI presidents asked Rotarians all over the world to plant a tree. Every Rotarian should plant a tree for the environment. We have had a lot of deforestation and the like along the riverbanks to restore what is happening to the riverbanks. We planted fruit trees which would bring some economic benefits to the persons, and as a result we're hoping that within a few years that the plants would bear fruits.
So it's Martha's Peter, I'm the forest officer in this range, the Dennery range. I was saying that ever since 2010, after the passage of Hurricane Thomas, my department, which is the forestry department, and integrally my range especially, we've been involved in a lot of riverbank landslide assessments, and from the assessments what we did was we launched into the rehabilitation phase. Now part of the rehabilitation phase started all the way at the shop which I told you that you guys met me at, and it came back this way. This area in which we're going to plant belongs to the former Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Ira Duvey. So mostly what we do this for is more or less erosion control, because part of our job is the protection of our soil, the protection of our wildlife, and the protection of basically the environment as it is. And we take that job very seriously. Soil erosion, there is one thing, everything is renewable, especially in nature. Soil is one that isn't. It takes thousands of years for you to get back your soil. Where a tree can grow in 10, 15 years, soil takes thousands and thousands of years so that it could basically be formed, the formation of soil could take place. So we try our best at every opportunity to do that protection of the soil. And one way that we figured we would do so, because over the years, and I think that was historically, we planted a lot of timber species. The timber species were fast growing, easier to cover the area quickly, but it also wasn't the best scenario for the farmers themselves or the people who own the lands, because you have to wait 20, 30 years before you could harvest a timber tree. But by changing up our MO, as we would say, our modus operandi, we decided to start using fruit-bearing trees of economical value, so that within 4 or 5 years you will see a difference on your farm, not just in the protection of your riverbank, but you will also be receiving some tangible benefits from those trees. And this is exactly what we've embarked upon since 2010. We have done so along the banks of the Mabuya River, all the way from Tornes, where they're actually doing the water resource project right now for the valley, all the way down to Bosquedo, which is one of the bridges you meet before you get to Lakaye. So I'll just give a brief description as to how we do the planting. More or less, if you notice the bags, there's this line on the edge of the bags. You're supposed to tear along the line, as you see. Most of them do tear. Some of them you might have to try to pull them out themselves. But for generally, I just try to tear along the line. Grab the plant by the underside, because we want to keep all the roots and the structure intact as it is. Generally, we try our best to keep the plant as straight as possible. Pack the dirt in around it.
What is it you're planting?
And this one is a cocoa tree. Yeah, this is cocoa.
This tree planting project that the Rotary Club of Gros Islet has embarked upon today is one of the challenges that was thrown out by Rotary International President Ian Risley with regards to the environment. The Rotary Club of Gros Islet embarked on this collaborative project with the Forestry Department to plant trees. So we've come to Errand Estate. We've planted a significant number of trees, almost 90 trees today, and we're hoping that we can continue this project. We were able to combine this community service project with a fun activity, a fellowship activity. So we're actually at a waterfall at Errand Estate, and we're having a cookout. We have a number of items actually being prepared right here on the scene. We're hoping that at a later point in the year we can come back and have a few more of these initiatives. It has many benefits, not just for us as a service organization, but for the community as well, because the area that we're in has suffered a lot of destabilization along the riverbanks. The trees we have planted are actually fruit-bearing trees. So in maybe the next 5 to 7 years, those plants will already start bearing fruit, and there will be economic benefits from the trees that we have planted today. So in addition to river stabilization, there is also diversity of the different plants that we have planted. There will be fruits for the birds and other animals, and there will also be income from those plants that we have planted today. So there are many benefits to what we have done, and we're hoping to continue doing similar activities throughout the year. The Rotary Club of Gros Islet in the year 2018-2019 will be celebrating its 25th anniversary. That is 25 years of making a difference, and that is one of the things that's our theme, Rotary making a difference. And that is what we are trying to do, make a difference in the environment, make a difference in our communities. We are hoping that all of the initiatives that we plan throughout will bring a lot of attention to some of the challenges that we face, both in the environment as a result of climate change. So we're trying to encourage persons, because it's not just the Rotary Club who can embark on initiatives such as this, but we would like to encourage persons to collaborate with the Forestry Department and to make a difference of their own in the environment, to keep the environment clean, to keep our rivers, to stabilize our riverbanks, and as much as possible to recycle.